Thanks for hanging in there with me on this project. It just seems to keep continuing. Last night we took probably maybe a little over half of the door faces, and what we did was we wanted to remove the grain, so when we put the paint on them it actually was smooth, to try to match as best as possible the MDF that's being used for the rails and the stiles. So I saw this, I don't know, a couple months ago on how to remove the grain, and basically it's a pretty simple concept. Take some drywall mud, thin it, and then just rub it on all over the door face and then sand it back down. So essentially, you know, all of the drywall mud fills in all of the grain of the wood, and then you come back and you sand it down, and it's kind of like creating a smooth wall. Seems a little excessive, I know, but I am not going to do the back of the doors or the door inserts, so we should be interesting to see how they turn out, the front versus the back. But today, or at least the first part of the day, I'm going to be doing that to the rest of the doors, and then once those are drying, I'm going to start sanding the ones that we did last night, and then by that time the other ones that we filled in today or this morning should be dry, and we'll go ahead and sand those as well. And then hopefully by the end of the day we can actually start gluing these things together. The look we're trying to achieve is just this. Like, you can see where the drywall mud has filled in the grain of the wood. So like this might be a little bit heavy right here of drywall mud, but it'll be fine. But what you want to do is get it down to where you can see the actual grains that are filled with the drywall mud. And actually when you're sanding it, you can actually hear the difference between when you're just going over a lot of drywall mud versus when you're actually getting down to the grain of the wood here. So I'll try to set up a test once I get to another piece and sand it, and maybe we can hear the difference. But that's the look you're trying to achieve. Hopefully you can hear the difference in sanding. This part is done. Kind of really can't tell from that camera angle, but I'm down to just where you can see the drywall and the grain of the wood. This half over here is yet to be sanded, so I'm going to start over here sanding, and I'm going to work my way over here. You should be able to hear the difference between sanding from over here to over here, and this is what you want to achieve. Okay, hopefully you heard that difference. During the process, I just noticed some of these boards I thought would be a good example for you to see that how the drywall mud actually filled in some of these bigger gaps that I didn't even see any of that before we put any of that drywall mud on. So pretty grateful that that was there. Imagine that if we would have put paint there, that would have just been accentuated. Yeah, so here's some more spots that got filled in that I didn't notice before we put that on. And then this is an example of, you can just see how it filled in the grain